just to begin with, I don't think this is going to be anything bigger than this year on DAZN. Is there Taylor against Serrano? It's massive for women's boxing.
Well, look, it's the biggest fight on the card right now. It's only the end of April, so I'd like to think there'll be other fights that are similarly sized, if not bigger. That's the challenge to all of us. But this is a huge fight, and I think I've said this a few times today. This transcends women's boxing 100%. I personally think it's got the opportunity to transcend boxing full stop and go into a broader mainstream sports event that has genuine appeal to people well beyond the four walls of boxing. And there's not many opportunities you get as a boxing broadcaster to do that. We're really excited about maximising that opportunity in the next couple of months. We've got the time, 10 or so weeks since we got this announced, to go and speak to brands, go and speak to our partners, work with our promotional partners, work with Jake, work with the fighters themselves to really make this as big as it can be. And I think that possibility is huge.
I wanted to ask you about, you already had some women's fights on DAZN before. What was the reception like in terms of the viewership? Because I presume it must be good for you to do everything like this.
Yeah, look. It is good. It's growing. I think KT in particular brings eyeballs across both sides of the pond. There's obviously a huge Irish population in the States and in the UK. So, look, we've seen really positive trends. I don't think we've had a women's boxing event of this scale, clearly, because there's never been one before. This will be a really good yardstick for how big women's boxing can be, and we're going to throw the kitchen sink at it, promotionally and marketing wise, to make sure that it's as big as it can be.
And Jake Paul involved as well helps, doesn't it, massively?
Definitely helps, and Jake's doing great things for this fight. I think Jake's a really interesting, polarising character. We've worked with Jake for a couple of years, worked with his brother, worked with KSI, we've done a bit of work with the YouTubers. His weight behind this and the passion he's speaking about this fight is great. We're very appreciative of his involvement.
One of the things that was discussed during the press conference was 3-minute rounds, 2-minute rounds.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on as a spectacle for DAZN? Does it really matter?
I don't think a press conference is the best time to speak about specifics of the contract or the specifics of the sporting contest. I don't think that matters hugely to the spectacle on DAZN. I think 2 minutes or 3-minute rounds, I imagine it'll be 2-minute rounds. It's still a historic fight, so we are very excited about that. And I think, look, the technicalities and the boxing specifics I'll leave to the promotional partners and the fighter camps. It's not really our business. We'll make sure the cameras are rolling, however long the rounds are.
Can I just ask, because a few months ago there was some discussions about perhaps a pay-per-view sort of model being brought into the DAZN. How seriously are those conversations going?
We've built the platform because we need to build the platform to be involved in the conversations here and in the US we want to be in terms of fight making. Long before DAZN's entry to boxing, there were fighters established as pay-per-view fighters. We've actually taken many of those fighters and given them to fight fans in major fights, not on a pay-per-view model. We've done that a few times. Unfortunately, not all fights can be made like that, and we've lost out on certain fights because we don't have a pay-per-view platform. For example, Anthony Joshua in the UK is a pay-per-view fighter, whichever way you look at it, and not having that technology previously has stopped us being competitive in those processes. So we want it so we can be involved in every single conversation we can. What I'd say about our future use of pay-per-view is that we'll use it sparingly. We'll use it less frequently than our friends at other broadcasters do. If you look at the pay-per-view schedule at the back end of 2021 in the US, even the start of 2022, the Fox card this weekend with Thurman, $75. That's daylight robbery, and I think we would never go down that route. We're going to focus on delivering consumer value. The vast majority of fights will be on subscription. Occasionally, sparingly, we'll use pay-per-view where we need to. But overall, the value we offer to the consumer will be maintained, and that is a key principle of our business.
And just one last question. I heard obviously there before you mentioned about BT, the whole deal. This is not happening anymore, but what sort of direction do you want to take DAZN next?
There's many ways DAZN could go. Listen, I think a lot of people in this room will forget DAZN globally is many things beyond boxing. Japan, leading sports broadcasters, soccer and baseball, Germany, Italy, Spain, Canada with a leading NFL broadcaster, so Super Bowl's next weekend. That's a major moment for our Canadian business. So lots of different types of content, lots of markets we're not really in yet for us to go and explore, lots of deals that we could possibly do to supercharge the growth of our business. What I know about DAZN, and I've been there since the very start, is we've grown from nothing in 2015 to being one of the world's leading sports broadcasters as we enter 2022. So we know how to grow a business, and we'll find ways to do that.